Hello and welcome to the 2021 Valley Forge Disc Golf League Summer Championship Finals. We've got an epic matchup of two 6-hole games between the New Jersey Goldfinches and the Rock City Royals.
David Wang, back at it again. Goldfinches fans, can you believe it? Will this be the year that David Wang and the rest of the Finches can make it to the top of the mountain and secure their first championship?
On the other side of the tee, we've got a newcomer team this year, Scott DeMarco leading the Rock City Royals, backed by Paul Bolanich and Brian Roeder. They've had an incredible season, from an ace to some great putting out there on the course. Let's see if they can get a championship win here today. We're going to head down to Greystone Woods and see how the players are feeling. We've got two 6-hole games, and if we see a tie after the first two, we'll be heading to holes 13 to 18 for a final 6-hole game.
I'm just happy to be back in a championship. You know, during wiffle ball, we lost to the Galaxy, so I'm hungry for a trophy this year.
Now, if they don't, uphold to that, then they get removed, and we get new guys who are, ready to join the ship and take down a championship.
Feeling better than we did last time. Last time the Goldfinches had their way with us, but come playoff time, big teams step up.
Just focusing on myself, and I just try not to hit some trees. So I've been hitting a lot of damn trees lately. So yeah.
All right, kicking off the championship with a very difficult hole. Hole 1, par 3, 273. This is a blind tee shot, and it's very hard to get above this ridge line here because of the low ceiling. Optimal shot is probably to go with a backhand that kind of flips up and rides, but we're going to see a mixture here. Scott going sidearm. M4 trying to turn this one over.
This hole is definitely a tad bit tricky from the whites, and the blues does not make it any easier as we see Scott ricochet off to the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, you got to get it up much higher. We're going to see Dan go with, I think, the more preferred line here. A hyzer flip up that kind of continues to push upward.
And Dan looks great here, taking the first shot for the Goldfinches here in this championship game.
Yes, if we're seeing Dan's shot, that means it was the best one of the group. This is 3v3 triple scramble here, so every player is going to throw from every lie. The team's going to pick the best result and then move forward. And we get David Wang, the GM of the Goldfinches, with a chance to gain a stroke here on hole 1, game 1. Let's see what he can do.
Great looking socks from David Wang, although
nice
he misses
socks.
low left.
Decent putt. Paul Bolanich to secure the 3.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Paul Bolanich is my X factor in this championship game, as we see him nail one here to get things started for the Rock City Royals.
Wow, he's your X factor of the game. I like that a lot. You said it once. I've never heard it before, but I like it.
Said it to myself.
You said it to yourself. Stephen McGovern cleaning up hole 2, par 4, 453. Not a long hole, but it plays very challenging because of how uphill and narrow this fairway is. But you do have a few different options on shots you can throw. Challenging part on this last portion is to get above the log you're about to see here. Most drives are going to land right around that spot, or most second shots rather. Scott DeMarco on the tee for the Royals.
The goal for a big thrower like Scott is to definitely get it over the log, because most players out here cannot do that. As we see him push a little bit left, but they should be all right from there.
Yeah, I think I'll have a look at the back door there. It's pretty open on that back side. Danny boy. Beautiful throw from Dan Schifrin, getting the Goldfinches a chance. This does look a little further than I thought, though. Kind of hard to get this one from back here all the way around.
But Dan does his best job to try to put himself and his team in that spot to attack the basket straight on.
Now that's 3 out of 4 shots, not counting putts, that we've seen Dan Schifrin go here. Great performance from him so far, as Paul Bolanich zings one in super quickly. Perfect height on that approach.
That's a Paul Berg.
Paul Berg. Steven, kind of low on that release, but no separation here on hole 2. This is one I thought would be a lot more gettable this season, but not the greatest performance from the league so far here on hole 2. Hole 3, par 4, 427. Very gettable hole, very attackable hole. Really opens up here on the back. Super important to get up this hill because the ground flattens out, really allows you to get a much nicer step. There are a lot of rocks on this fairway, which make the whole score so much more challenging because it's very hard to get that last 200 feet up the hill that you need.
But once you can get up that hill, it seems a lot more manageable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As we see Scott do just that, as he gets some love from the rocks, and it puts him over the hump.
David Wang coming in here on hole 3. Beautiful height to this one. Let's see if he can hold straight. A little bit off to the left side fairway for David there, but again, this hole is very attackable. The rough's not that thick. You can kind of get sneaky on either side. Scott clearing out some space, looking to go for some kind of aggressive little step forward here. I like the aggressive mindset. Look at this one.
Scott gets so much speed on his forehands and all of his shots really that he could have cut Tim Gabur right in half.
Screaming past him there on that approach. Looked like he may have been running it for 3. I wouldn't doubt that Paul was already under the basket, running it for 2. David going with his instinct here, one of his most used discs. Surprised to see that. I guess looks like he's trying to go with some kind of turnover. Oh no, he just gets sneaky on the left side.
And he puts his team in a great spot, not too far away from the basket. Let's see if they can capitalize here.
Looks like they'll be going with Stephen McGovern's shot. Pops that one up a bit, but not a driven enough bid to get the 3. And we might see the Royals take a stroke here on hole 3.
Scott takes his time and buries it to put your Rock City Royals up 1.
Never again. Don't do that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Stephen McGovern cleaning up. Goldfinch is looking a little bit deflated here. They're only down 1, but we've seen all season how difficult it is to gain strokes here. Hole 4, par 4, 567. Very highly requested hole by the players. This is a much more attackable version than the short. And you're just going to want to get something straight, let it come left a bit. There are kind of 2 different entry points, one later than the other, that I think is more open. Ideal drive is going to get you a 200 or so foot upshot here that is relatively wide open. Only danger at that point is the drop off from behind the tee, or behind the basket rather.
Brian Roeder is someone that you would definitely want on your team if you want someone who is going to play the safest shot possible. And we see him do just that, as we can see that maybe the other Royals went a bit too aggressive. Chris, this is looking like the Dan Schifrin show.
It really is looking like the Dan Schifrin show. Honestly, didn't really realize that until you mentioned it now. We're seeing a lot of him, especially off of the tee, and for good reason if he's going to be carving lines like that. Beautiful hyzer flip up, riding on hyzer, crashes through the early entrance there, and that should have a nice upshot for a look at the birdie 3 here.
Just a bunch of finches being finches.
Well, the years stop coming, they don't stop. They don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop. Just keep coming. Valley Forge Sports Network sued for copyright. Sponsor us, Smash Mouth. It's a cover.
Sponsor us.
I think I just heard Danielle sponsor us, Smash Mouth. Great energy from Dan Schifrin, great play from Dan Schifrin. And we see Brian Roeder take 2 for the Rock City Royals here. Royals are kind of struggling. I mean, it's a good shot from Roeder there, but no look at the 3. The door's open for David Wang. He's within mid-range distance.
These are the shots that David Wang needs to pull off in a championship game like this. We saw him in the WWBL championship with my brother Steven as his first overall pick. Get within a
couple runs of a championship.
A sliver of a chance against the Galaxy in the championship here, and let's see if they can inch a tiny bit closer.
Ooh, nice backstop from Paul there. That's going to keep the Royals at -1 after 4. Goldfinches have a chance to tie from the bottom of the hill. There have not been many comebacks after the first 4 holes this season, so this is a big putt for Stephen McGovern.
Although he is a new disc golfer, he is not going to be one to, you know, he plays by his own rules, this kid out here.
I love that. We're seeing the players clean up here for 2 pars on hole 4. Now, Lefty, 2 holes left to go. Goldfinches are down by 1. We just saw David getting in some strokes there. What are you thinking if you're the Goldfinches here? What does New Jersey need to do moving forward?
The Goldfinches definitely need to start to be a little more aggressive. The fact that we're seeing Dan Schifrin so much is great, but let's try to get, you know, better shots. And they need to be aggressive.
We need to see better shots. Hole 5, par 3, 296. 2 options on this hole. You've got the right side, which has kind of a low ceiling and needs a little bit of hyzer hookup at the end. And then you've got that outside line that Scott's going to try to attack here. Much more wide open forehand, but it does get crowded as you try to kind of cheat your way in through the back there. Scott lands this one about 25-30 long. It's a good shot.
The amount of trees on this green, it does knock down a lot of these fast shots coming in from the top of this hill and will really set you up nice for a birdie.
Spirits are looking high for the Royals here. If they can get that birdie, most likely they'll be getting a victory here. But Dan Schifrin has something to say about that. Beautiful drive again from number 5. Hearing a call for Circle's Edge on that one. Couldn't quite see it from catch, but the important thing in this course, Lefty, when we're playing Scramble is just to get yourself a look. I mean, park jobs are obviously nice, but you need to have at least a look from 30-35 on all these par 3s.
And you need to have confidence. And it doesn't look like the Finches have a whole lot of it left here. Especially seeing Scott DeMarco step up.
Another low putt for the Goldfinches. Scott makes the necessary adjustment. Gets that one nice and high right. Clutches up for a little solo birdie here on hole 5.
That is not an easy shot. As we see here, he barely grabs the chains. He could have easily chained out on that one.
Yeah, the Goldfinches just look really defeated right now. Hole 6, par 3, 314. Really fun shot to play hole 6 blue here at Greystone Woods. It's very challenging to get that right hookup at the end of the flight, so you're probably going to need to go with some kind of flex forehand. But you will see the occasional backhand turnover that kind of aims to just get like 30, 25, 30. But if you want to park this one, forehand's definitely the way to go.
Now there is water in play on the right side down by the green. Now in triples, that doesn't really come into play a whole lot because you got 3 lies to play off of, but there's a chance.
We got some mountain bikers coming through as Dan Schifrin goes with his Z zone. Z heat, rather. The only 2 discraft discs I throw. Good effort from Dan. And we're seeing Dan again here on the upshot. Probably trying to throw this one in. You never know. Maybe the Royals bogey. But looks like we're going to be seeing the Rock City Royals take game 1 here, Lefty.
And we see a Paul Bolanich. Berg forehand. You better watch out when Paul lines up for that forehand because as an opponent, you're not going to like where it lands.
Yeah, he's been really clean all season. So the Royals taking game 1 here. We're going to step into another 6-hole game in a moment. And if the Goldfinches can win this second game, we will see a 3rd game here, Lefty. Now, if you're New Jersey, you just lost by 2 on a 6-hole layout. What do you need to do going forward to right the ship here for New Jersey?
Be aggressive. David and his team need to really come out firing. Maybe they bring in Costley, maybe they don't. But they really need to run it and take all of the chances to pull ahead of Scott.
Yeah, I think putting seemed to be one of the problems, and Costley was hitting most of the putts for them all season. But again, I love that David mixes in his different players, but I think we are going to be seeing Chris Costley here in game 2. Game 2 starting off with the bang here. It's a must-win for the Goldfinches, and if the Royals get this one, they have got themselves a championship. Hole 7, par 3, 235. Coming from the long tee here, super narrow.
Costley off the bench taking the first drive for his team here, and it ricochets in a not so favorable place, but they should be all right.
It was looking good. It was looking good. Yeah, Costley was the talk of the town in between the break here. Paul Bolanich. Really nice finish to game one Paul had. Good start with that forehand.
Looks like he parked it. Tim got a little bit confused as we see none other than Daniel Schifrin.
Lefty, you mentioned Dan being underrated. There's been a lot of talk about Dan's play over time. You know, he was never an ultimate player back in the day. He didn't really play a lot of Frisbee golf with us, so naturally he's garnered a lot of attention coming into this league. A newer player, a Greystone local. He's been carrying a lot of the load for the Goldfinches here today.
I told him the other day he's by far most improved out of any of us, even me, who started even early or even later than he did. Dan Schifrin's game is going through the roof.
Love that. Number 5. Great putt. I'm seeing a lot more pop, a lot more confidence. They're going down a stroke. But the vibes are looking a bit more enhanced here. Hole 8, par 3, 206 feet. Beautiful right to left hookup. You've got the river running down the whole way. The sound of the creek. The sun shining through the gap in the trees. Beautiful hole.
As we see Paul do what only Paul can do.
Ooh, cooks one.
Wow.
Right up the gut on a nice Anheuser angle. He put a lot on that.
That's a risky shot. It's not the preferred method for a lot of these right-handed throwers.
That was insane. He put so much power on that, but that floaty Anheuser angle just allowed it to just control itself all the way to the green. Dan Schifrin again for the Goldfinches.
Dan keeps it low.
Pewers one up the gut. Skips a bit long, but they've got 3 putters. Shouldn't be a problem to clean that one up.
Tim, you can stay on the basket. I'll stay on the disc.
Tim can stay on the basket. I'm going to stay on the disc. And Costley hopefully will be right on the chains.
Look at all these cameramen out here. They look great.
Teamwork. I love it.
You're so close to Costley. Yeah, I know you would not be that close nowadays. Goldfinches with a crucial birdie here. You do not want to go down 2 strokes to this Royals team. They've been looking so clean all year. It really just goes without saying at this point. They've been leading the charge most weeks in terms of low scores. Hole 9, par 4, 436. Again, the Royals with an advantage, I would say here. Scott is one of the few players that can really get this one down the lake here and try to get access to that later spot that you see here, which I expect him to do that. And this has kind of grown in a bit over the years. I think we should manicure that area to open up that back entrance a bit more.
This is not really that hard of a shot to make it over the water. It is just terrifying when you're standing in that tee box. As we see Paul, not Scott, get the look here as he takes a shorter route, but he's in there.
He is indeed safe. You will see a lot of people go very high and very inside. As Lefty alluded to, it's hard to have confidence off of this tee. Christopher Costley stepping up with the weight of New Jersey on his boots.
And a Costley shuffle, and we're off.
And a nice inside high drive. And that is in trouble for the Goldfinches. This is terrifying. We've got Dan Schifrin, a crafty woodsman, considering every option. Backhand, forehand, roller. He's on a knee. He's got a disc in his hand, and he's got New Jersey in his heart.
We did see, I think it was Travis Rollins throw a great shot out of this particular spot not so long ago.
Yeah, but it's hard to have the forehand roller of a Travis Rollins. I mean, he's absolutely insane. I'm gonna do a Sam Doyle. Travis Rollins has a 1,000 rated forehand roller.
And David plays a great shot that I bet the Finches wish was their second shot instead of their third. Let's see what the Royals can do with their second shot.
Yeah, Royals have a stroke to play here. We're seeing Brian Roeder going with a nice little lefty turnover. He recently switched from righty to lefty Flash forward to now, I believe he's incorporating the righty back into his game. And that's a nice little turnover. Drifting up to the green. Royals secure the birdie 3. So Goldfinch is going down by 2 after 3 holes.
Now, 10 and 11 are holes where you can make up for it, but the Goldfinches are really going to need to buckle down and play aggressive.
Yeah, this is troubling. Rock City Royals are 3 for 3 here
there.
on the second set. And if they win this game,
I don't want that.
they've just stepped into a championship. Hole 10, par 3, 240. Low ceiling, left to right shot. Hard to get aggressive on this basket because you can kind of hit the hill and roll downward. So you really need some good angle control as you approach the green.
Also, even the best players can get caught up in those early trees and get beaten down.
Scott DeMarco is on a mission here. He's got a really nice balance of patience and calmness, but aggression, which is really just what you need in Scramble. Stay calm, stay cool, but stay aggressive. That one, as he mentioned, was Tuggerino'd.
It definitely
Doors
helps.
open for the Goldfinches.
That it is. It definitely helps Scott to have a player like Paul and Roeder on his team that allows him to keep going for these big shots.
Christopher Costley voted the best beard in the Valley Forge Sports Network. Only because Lefty was voted in 2021. And we don't have consecutive winners because we want, equity. That way someday I can win. It's going to be a few years.
So get your chance.
Scott DeMarco looking to basically bury the game with a nice jump putt from down the hill there, but does not do it. This is a must hit for David Wang. You cannot stay 2 strokes down with 2 to go.
There it is. David saw the big moment and said, give me some of that.
Nice and high, never a doubt. David Wang has a very committed putt. When he hits hard.
Scott getting a little cocky here. Let's see if it turns around and bites him in the butt.
Bites him in the bunions. Okay, so we've got 4 holes in, 2 to go. Lefty. Royals need to secure a nice even split here with the Goldfinches in the next 2 holes, and they've got themselves a championship. What are you thinking if you're Rock City?
11 and 12 aren't particularly hard for a team like the Royals, but they could find themselves in a little bit of trouble here. They need to stay locked in.
I love it. Hole 11, par 4, 432. Now, this is a hole that has 1 or 2 different very pure lines that can get you all the way to the triple tree you're going to see in a moment here. But this is also one, Lefty, where you can kind of get a little sneaky on either side of the fairway.
And David Wang and Chris Costley and Dan Schifrin are 3 people who could definitely get crafty in these woods. Watch out. They might take a line that doesn't exist. As David just squeaks by that last tree there to put himself in a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, that might have a look for the eagle here. Let's see what the Royals do. We're seeing Brian Roeder. That's not a great sign for the Royals. He has been coming in clutch a few times here today. So that's a great ups to him. But an unfortunate turnover there. Must have been a bit of a struggle for Scott and Paul here on hole 11. And
We've seen Scott throw big forehands before from the standstill.
Lefty, what are you doing running across the fairway, man? Get out of here.
Gonna get those angles as we see
Scott just absolutely torquing a little sidearm. And that's a smart play. You know, he knows that's not going to be within 10-15 going sidearm there. It's obviously going to kind of drift out a bit right, but that seemed like a very safe way to get to the edge of the circle. He may have done that. David Wang could take the lead.
David for eagle, not what he wanted, but still puts them in a excellent spot.
I agree. Best case scenario for the Royals here. Is a par. David Wang.
Bang. David
Nice little 1-2 from David to get the birdie there.
Rotor cleaning up. Not a gimme putt at all.
Just low for the Royals. That was the first time we've seen a bogey since the very first hole of the season. Not to bring you back, Lefty, but that was you and Josh Rollins playing with 2. So this is, in theory, the first birdie we've seen, first bogey we've seen with a full team. And it comes at a crazy time for New Jersey. And you're running across the fairway again.
We have all gotten a lot better here at the VFSN as David does what he does and puts one right there for the Goldfinches to secure a nice 2.
Wow. I mean, if you're Rock City, you've now got to be going for an ace here. It looks like that is what Scott's doing. He puts one up nice and high to the left. Gets rejected by the tree. They do have a look at the birdie, but New Jersey's in striking distance. I don't believe what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, this is a crazy comeback. We said it before. Comebacks are not commonplace here at the VFDGL with so little separation between these teams in the skill department. And Paul.
Paulie B drops one in from distance.
Unfazed.
Kind of puts a bit of pressure on the Goldfinches here. We've seen that 18 feet is about the critical range where you will occasionally see 3 players miss. Dan appears to be 18, 19 feet here. And he puts it in.
And there it is. And the
Number
Goldfinches.
5.
Dan Schifrin, MVP so far for the Finches, I'd say.
You guys were up by 2. They took 2 on hole.
Tiebreaker, where are we going? 12.
Get 2.
Me and Lefty both thought it was over. We did not realize. Yeah, everyone in crew thought it was over there. We thought for sure that the Finches only had 2 strokes from 11. We got more disc golf. I'm in absolute disbelief right now. I thought Paul just hit the shot of his life. Game 3, folks. Here we go.
I'm still in disbelief in this moment right now. You looked like you were going to give me a stage direction note, but we're going to keep rolling here. We're stepping into a third game. New Jersey Goldfinches made the comeback. Rock City Royals were so clean all season. What happened there on hole 11?
I think that the Royals got a little bit ahead of themselves, and hole 11 being what it is a monster. And the Finches stayed locked in, stayed aggressive, like I said before, and the Royals really let that one slip.
Yeah, you know, it's such a hole where you can be aggressive. I mean, Scott was going very, very aggressive off the tee there, clearly, if they went with Rotor's drive. It only went about 100 feet. Rotor's been coming in clutch quite a bit here, but if we're going to see the Royals succeed here in Game 3, we're going to need to see more from Scott and Paul.
Yeah, Scott seems like he's been playing the super aggressive routine this entire game here, and maybe he needs to dial it back a little bit to guarantee his team this victory.
We saw how clutch they could be last week against the Arctic Tundra. They clutched up and got that win there in Game 2. We're going to see what happens next here at Greystone Woods. The third set coming up. We've got holes 13 to 18.
One word, the feeling describing when you took those strokes on 11 to push the summer championship into a third game.
Incredulous.
Chris Costley. Beautiful specimen. Hole 13, par 3, 278 feet. Massive drop off on the left side of this fairway here, so there's quite a bit of danger looming. This is just a disc golfer's disc golf shot. You need to be pure, you need to be true. No luck involved on this shot. You just need to get one right up the gut and have it push straight.
And we are playing blue, so it does hold a little bit more of a challenge here. That tunnel is a little bit longer as we see the Finches go down into that pit. But
that's a look.
Looking great.
That is a look.
You're good. I actually love Madison Walker. Marry me with Madison.
All right, we're going to Brian Roeder again here on the upshot. Nice little Anheuser flex.
It's exactly what you would expect from a Roeder standstill at that distance.
Now, the Royals look to be struggling, but I couldn't help but notice Scott seemed to be chewing a granola bar there. That is going to charge him up big time as Chris Costley Splashes through, we hear David say.
I have never seen a disc go sideways and just go straight through like that. That is one of the more unlucky things you're going to see out here.
Royals clean up their par there. Hole 14, par 4, 555. Really, really fun and challenging tee shot. You've got to get around this corner, through the fairway true, and it gets thicker as you go here towards the end of the fairway. Lots of rocks that can bounce you off in weird directions. Lots of trees that can reject you from getting in for a nice, easy look at the 3. So the goal here is to just play one nice and clean and try to get your team a look.
This hole really is an adventure, and I don't even know where the blue tee box is.
It's a little further back and to the left. It's tough, but whites are just so perfectly attackable. We'd love to see an eagle on this hole.
And we see one get by our catch cam guy again, meaning that David really just smashed one out there off to the right side.
Scott swings one out a bit wide right, gets a nice little bounce off the tree. Pretty crazy reaction. And that one gets all the way to the tombstone. Serious power on that.
Center fairway, gonna play really nice here for the Royals.
Dan's looking to go with some kind of little sidearm turnover. That's a smart play. Hard to get that to flex all the way back to the basket there, but he gets himself a look.
It's definitely what the Royals, or the Goldfinches need, rather. A super aggressive shot.
Paulie B just doing what he does again.
That's
it's
unfair.
Just beautiful with that bird. You know, I don't even know if that was his bird, but I don't care.
If you're building a disc golfer using only VFDGL traits, you're going to want Paul's upshot forehand play. Give me that every time. Dan,
I need Shane Sassone's clutchness.
We'll make another video.
We'll make another video. Build a disc golfer.
Dave, you need a stick? No, I got it.
All right, Royals off to a one-stroke lead here. They've been leading the charge all season. Minor hiccup on the latter half of game 2, but they're still looking great out there. Hole 15, par 3, 244, left to right shot. Just a beautiful hole. Very attackable. This is one you do not want to miss when you are facing 3 players.
And I know this is Steven, my brother's favorite hole on Greystone.
I don't care. No, just kidding. I love Steven. That one's a bit too straight from Scott. Kind of zings past the catch cam there. I don't think they saw it. I'm not sure if that's really going to be a look from there. So the door's open for the Goldfinches to tie the game up here. This is one of David's signature holes. Not surprised to see them going with David. Nice little turnover with his Colt.
And that's what you like to see.
Mamma mia. David Wang. Let's take another look at this beautiful turnover. Gives it a bunch of height, but on a perfect angle. And that's just disc golf right there.
That
Falls
tree really
right
saves
under.
him. That tree could have sent him right into the water, but instead puts him right into the basket.
I guess the Royals do have a look from distance here.
Wow. Paul Balanich, X Factor. Mark it down. Here it is again. Bang.
Look at that fist pump from Paul Balanich. Massively clutch effort here to stay above the Goldfinches.
You don't see a lot of emotion from Paul, but he gives us a nice Tiger Woods fist pump here, as that is a shot in the heart.
The Goldfinches finally thought they were going to get a stroke on the early side of a game here with a little room to breathe, but absolutely not. Rock City keeps the lead. Hole 16, par 4, 380 feet. We're going to be coming off the blue tee here, a little bit further back and to the right. Definitely a 2-shot hole here. It's quite uphill towards the end.
Lefty's moving on the lie.
More comments about Lefty moving on the lie. And Rotor puts one up to the left.
It's another one of those
back to
blue
the middle.
holes Sorry. It's another one of those blue holes that really gives you multiple options. Although it is further back, there's seemingly 2 fairways that you're looking at here.
Everybody needs to watch out because Christopher Costley has removed his visor and he is seeing fairways. That is using every inch of space that this hole gives you to get the Goldfinches towards the bottom of the hill. Going to be a bit of a difficult upshot from there, but it's nice to get a little bit ahead of the Royals here.
Oh, God.
Oh, Scott is absolutely covered. I just want to give a quick shout out to Brian Roeder. Been doing a lot of work in the VFSN crew. He edited a lot of this video.
Shout out to Brian Roeder.
Don't want to come off ever. From mine, we can't even get.
Oh man, Roeder really wanted to include this part, and I am not upset about it. Now, this is adversity. It needs to be stated that the Rock City Royals are now facing some significant adversity. Scott's jersey. I mean, we might need to call a holding penalty on that bramble.
And it's something that Scott will surely be talking about for the next 5 to 7 years. Doesn't seem to be holding him up at all as he throws an absolute dime.
Gets that one to the bottom of the hill. We saw them hit one from there last week. So that's a great spot to be. Let's see if the Goldfinches can get a look at the basket here. It's going to be hard to get up to the top of the hill. They certainly have a chance, but just some kind of look is all they need.
I would love a Costley solo bird right here.
That's a great shot from Chris Costley. Unfortunately, does kind of get off to that left side there.
The distance isn't the issue. The elevation is a challenge. I trust Kona.
Scott DeMarco from the bottom of the hill. And that guarantees a lead going into the last 2.
That's just Scott putting the team on his back, doing what Scott does best. A patented Scott DeMarco run, and
Goldfinches have a chance to keep it within 1 here. We've got a score of -3 to -1. Let's see if their general manager, David Wang, can come in clutch. You do not want to be down 2 strokes on the last 2 holes. Just low from GM David Wang. You mentioned it before, Lefty, in the Whippany Wiffle Ball League. He made it to the finals. He's in 2nd place here, staring down the barrel of a Scott DeMarco, Paul Blahnik, and a Brian Roeder. What do you need to do for New Jersey here?
It's definitely not a favorable position. The Goldfinches have been underdogs before, and they will be underdogs again. But this game is not over yet. Let's see what the Goldfinches can do. Stay aggressive, stay confident, and finish out strong.
And play disc golf, most importantly. We've got 2 holes left. Rock City Royals are up by 2. Stepping into 17 here, Goldfinches need a stroke. Coming off the blue tee here, a lot of separation possible. We saw Tim Gebert take the left sideline over the lake last week. Hole 17, par 4, 550 feet. This is such a beautiful hole, and I like how I'm saying last week as if we didn't put out the most recent video 2-3 months ago. Everything's just happening live here on VFSN. Scott DeMarco, we're with him on the tee here. Puts one up nice and high. A beautiful Anheuser angle. Enough spin to come back left. And a bit higher and more inside is ideal, but that's an incredible crush. Beautiful angle control and nice power. The Goldfinches, down by 2, are still nice and jolly on the tee.
I only want to be with you.
The Goldfinches really don't have the power to keep up with Scott, but let's see if they can put themselves in favorable position to handle the shots that they can make.
Yeah, realistically, you don't really need a whole lot of power to get the 3 here. You just need to play good disc golf. David Wang puts this one up a bit high inside, but he does get himself to about 30 feet there. And that's really all the Goldfinches need. I trust in their putting. Chris Costley's got something to give. David Wang's got something to give. They just need to make sure they can stay within striking distance of Rock City here.
Now Scott has a straight look at the basket as David had a little bit more of a tricky shot.
Yeah, that's an incredible drive from Scott. The only downside of it was that it went too far. Kind of got himself stuck there. I guarantee you if he's 3-4 feet shorter, that's going to be a cleaner upshot there.
Like I said before, Scott needs to play it safe a little bit more, and it looks like that was exactly that as he lays one up for the Royals.
Now the Goldfinches have a chance to get this birdie.
Heartbreaking.
Just high from number 8. And the Royals cash it in for the birdie 3. And that's a massive weight lifted off the shoulders of Rock City there. Gaining a stroke on the hole. Hole 18, par 3, 615 feet, par 4, sorry. We're coming off of a blue tee here. No, we're coming off the white tee. Lots of separation possible. Scott just ripping one super quickly, saying, get it over with. We're up by 3. And that is an absolute dime.
You're not going to see very many people who can do that.
I'm proud.
Dan Sportsmanship Dan Schifrin saying, I'm proud to follow that. You love to see that. It's been great vibes all season long in the Valley Forge Disc Golf League. We really appreciate you tuning in and joining us. We've got the second season underway right now. Coverage coming out next week. I am so excited. We've made some massive upgrades to the production that I cannot wait to share with everybody. And the league has gotten some upgrades as well. We've got 2 new teams. We've got tons of new players, new competition from new areas. We're going to new courses. Wow.
Yeah. Watch out. Season 2 is coming in hot.
Scalding. And David Wang coming in with another second place here, Lefty. Gives the basket a beautiful run, showing some heart.
Great try from David.
And Scott DeMarco.
Who else but Scott?
7 of the last 7 shots. And he dedicates this win to Rock City. 7 out of the last 7 shots from Scott DeMarco there to close out the win. Heroic effort. We see the sticky stuff on the jersey of Dan Schifrin and Scott DeMarco. They've been through everything Greystone has to offer here today on this mixed layout. Is he jumping in the water, says Paul. He was grabbing a disc.
Good friends, good disc golf, kind gentlemen, great game. Dave. Good job out
Wow. That's just a beautiful, incredible thing to see. Sportsmanship, gentlemen, friendship,
We're here
kind
with the
gentlemanship.
The core 3. Johnny Eckert's not here, but we've got the core 3.
Big up, Johnny.
Guys, you just took down the first ever VFDGL championship. How do you feel right now?
Weightless, elated, really like proud without too much because it was a heck of a game. It was really a battle. More than anything, I'm glad it wasn't just given. I feel like I earned it.
Paul?
Honestly, Rotor took it away.
Rotor took it away. Oh, God, I can't be any more happy with how my teammates played today. Both of them stepped up in huge moments, hit big shots. I don't know if Rotor missed a fairway or a tree. He got one of them every single time, but most of them were fairways. All I kept saying to Paul the whole round was just destiny. This is ours. We're meant to be here. We did feel it, and they trusted me.
Scott, it felt like every time your team needed you, you came up big. They played great all day, but every time they needed you, you came up big. What were you thinking coming down the stretch here? Goldfinches put up some really great shots in the second game. How'd you guys get over the hill to get the victory today?
We're just taking it one shot at a time. Sticking to our usual span of Rotor, Paul, me, letting them set the tone, making sure to take advantage of every time where we can have Paul or Rotor, take a plus or minus type of shot, aggressive or passive. And we just knew if we miss shots, we're gonna lose. So you just can't miss.
We see the heart from the Goldfinches getting right to the putting green.
All right, we're coming to general manager of the New Jersey Goldfinches, David Wang. David, it feels like you've come up just short every time here. We've had a big season like this. I see you right away getting to the putting, just like Nico LaCastro out there, getting the practice in. I know how hard you work. Tell the Goldfinches fans, they need something to hear right now. Talk to the Goldfinches fans at home.
Hey, we wouldn't be here without you. All the support, we hear it here on the course all the time, and it's tough pill to swallow that we couldn't pull it through for you guys, but we'll come back next year stronger.
What are you guys going to do in the off season? I know there's going to be a lot of excitement.
There's going to be a lot of excitement.
Leading into this next season. This one was kind of like a little test run. Next season's going to be big. Fall, we come hard in the fall.
Yep.
What are you thinking next season?
I think next season's going to be great. The Goldfinches got a lot of practice on the green that we got to figure out. Our putting wasn't on today. Next season, hopefully get some new players, new faces, new teams maybe, and it's going to be really exciting.
Dave, you're such a gentleman out there. It's such a pleasure filming you. Folks, thank you so much for watching. We're here at the Valley Forge Disc Golf League, first ever season at the championship. Royals took it home with the Finches. We'll see them back next season. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
Wow.
Look at those angles.
Absolutely heroic effort from Scott DeMarco and the Rock City Royals. Congratulations to Scott. Congratulations to Paul, Johnny Eckert, Brian Roeder. There were so many emotions in the Royals season. They had an ace in week 3 to get things started off against the Arctic Tundra and clinch the playoffs. What is there to say about this team, Lefty?
The Rock City Royals gave it their all in every single game, and how can you not with a GM like Scott DeMarco? The energy that he brings to the course every day could only really get you fired up. There's no way you're not going to be ready to play when you put on the Royals uniform.
Yeah, I love that. I think one of the things that we needed to see more of was aggression this year, more confidence. At the end of the day, these are amateur disc golfers, so we're not going to see the same level of play that we see when we're watching professional coverage, but this is Scramble, so we need to see better putting, we need to see more aggression off of the tee, and we need to see more structure out there. Scott was really the only player that I saw developing any kind of advanced strategies with his team and the rotation this year, so stepping into the next season, we hope to see a lot more of that. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey here in the Valley Forge Disc Golf League. We've got the first installment of the 4 chapters coming this weekend. Round 1 kicks off on Saturday. We've got a ton of great athletes on that feature card. We got Austin Barron, we got Dylan Cook, James Kalinsky, and we have Ron Gardner, a Camp Tecumseh local. We'll see you this weekend. Lefty, do you have any final thoughts here on the season and about season 2 as a GM of the Galaxy?
Well, I'll first off start by saying, Goldfinches fans, keep your heads up. The future is bright. With David Wang at the helm, you can really only have optimism. The kid has made it to 2 straight finals. But the Galaxy, my team, will be back strong, as will Chris's new team, and we got some more surprises in store. Stay tuned.
Thunder Bay Waves, let's go. We out.